Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston and today we're reviewing the news, and it's gonna be quite an interesting one because we've got quite a few cards here to talk about. And the first thing we need to get into is this announcement, and I know it caught some people off guard, and I think a lot of people were expecting it to be a lot worse. And maybe more will come. That's always a risk in TCG. And as you can see here, we're losing another leader. And I know that it's absolutely necessary because I've been paying attention to a lot of the tournaments in Japan and a lot of what people are talking about. And even here in the West, in this meta that's a little bit behind, really don't like what this law leader can do, so they're happy to see it go. The fact that we don't have more things here, I know that the West wouldn't want to get rid of Black Maria before it's even playable, but I feel like that is somewhere in the future. I don't see how it's not. But we also got in his lobby that, I mean, it's understandable, but I don't think that's the reason why the Lucci leader is doing well. I think Black just has a lot of good control. We saw it used well in Sakazuki. We've seen what Black can do generally, and then just giving it an always -2, I think was just probably bad foresight. But with all band leaders, we get something really cool. We get something. And that something here is a new leader for law. Instead of just errating the current one, for some reason they're reprinting it. I mean, not for some reason, it makes sense, but they're giving it its own number, which is the thing I think is weird. In most games, they'll just errata, and the errata just happens, and you have to know that it's different. In this game, they ban the leader, and then you get a new one. Now onto this effect. Trafalgar Law, red purple leader for life 5k power. Activate main once per turn, Don -3, send one of your 3000 power or higher characters to the bottom of your deck. Play up to one cost 4 or lower heart pirate character card from your hand. So generally worse. One of the great things about the starter deck law is that it removed your opponent's cards from the field and then brought any card from your hand, with the conditions, of course, but bringing cards from your hand to the field. Now it's moving your card from your side of the field and only bringing a heart pirate, which a lot of people immediately went, there's like 5 of them. Who am I playing with this character? Which, like, this leader is not good right now. And it's a tiny overcorrection to, like, stunt what was happening. But in the future, that doesn't mean there isn't more purple or red heart pirates that make this leader playable again. But for the time being, I think we'll just have to put it in a binder and wait for it to accumulate wealth, I guess, because it's not it right now. Moving on to the next card here. Stronger black character, 1 cost 0 power, animal, Blackbeard Pirates, 2k counter. Activate main, you may trash 1 card from your hand, and this character, if your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates type, draw 1 card. Then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost for the turn. Okay, so another Blackbeard pirate that is getting around the Blackbeard effect in an interesting way. Trashing a card from your hand, a lot of the Blackbeard pirates seem to be getting rid of card hand size, like your own, and I'm not sure if I like that. I think that's a dangerous game to play. Draw 1 card, then -2. That part's nice, and it's a 2k counter, so with the limited like pool of Blackbeard pirates that you're going to have, you're gonna definitely see stronger. I don't know how often it gets played, but drawing a card in -2, I mean, that's great. We just talked about Inez Lobby doing a -2, and how that having one of those every turn is bad for your opponent. So I mean, I really dislike 0 power cards, but this is it's nice. -2 and draw a card. That's fantastic, really. I'm coming around on it, really. Next up, Shiryuu, black character, 3 cost, 4k power, Blackbeard Pirates, 2k counter. Dawn ×1, when attacking, you may trash 2 cards from your hand, draw 2 cards. So this is really good, I think. I love that the cost of it is to trash 2 cards. So you have to have the 2 cards in your hand first. You can't just use this character and draw 2. The cost is -2 cards from hand. So if you don't have 2 cards in hand, you can't activate its effect, which is a good way to balance drawing effects. Another 2k counter, so stronger loses a little bit of value there, but having multiple 2k counters, as we know, is a good thing. Yeah, that's a good card too. A lot of the character cards for Blackbeard are going to be quite nice, and that's good because the leader effect is really weird. Moving on. Brook, yellow character, 5 cost, 6k power, Egghead Straw Hat Crew, 1k counter. No original effect. Trigger, if your leader has Egghead type, your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, your opponent discards 2 cards from their hand. Okay, that's pretty crazy. I like that it comes in trigger form. It makes it a little bit harder to hit, and forces you to do all of your yellow shenanigans to get this into your life to be able to activate that effect. And then it's very conditional. If your opponent doesn't have 6 cards in your hand and you pull it, it just goes back to your hand and you have to reset it up again. So yeah, I mean, I like it. I don't know what the Egghead leader wants with this card. So I'm not sure how it fits into that deck, but discarding 2 cards from your hand is quite painful if you hit good stuff, if you hit their characters they haven't been able to play that they're holding on to, or you hit counter, all good things. So I like it. It's in the trigger, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to play into, I think. So I don't know. We'll definitely have to see what happens with this one, because it could go either way. Speaking on going either way, we got a cross guild event. Cross guild, 1 cost, blue event, cross guild type, main. You look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal, and add up to your hand up to 1 card with the type cross guild. Then return to the bottom of your deck in any order. Trigger, activate this card's main effect. So that's a pretty standard 1 cost searcher. It only goes 4 deep. I think there's a range between 3 and 5 for the event cards that do search off the top of your deck, so that's pretty standard. I like it. Not much to talk about when it comes to event cards, because there's a little less complexity when it comes to searching. It's either the deck needs it and it's absolutely necessary, or the deck doesn't need it and it doesn't get played because there's enough going on. And you see that more often with dual color leaders. They don't need a event searcher because they most likely have 2 character searchers or multiple character searchers. Yeah, moving on to the next card here. Hachinosu, 1 cost, black stage. Blackbeard Pirates, activate main. You may trash 1 card from your hand, then rest this stage. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Blackbeard Pirate card, and put it into your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Event searchers are quite nice. Our stage searchers are quite nice, I think. I can't think of off the top of my head how many there are. I feel like yellow has some weird ones, but being able to try to do this every turn is nice. It does come at the cost of a card in your hand, and if you miss, then you're just missing. It's all minuses. If you hit one, you kind of break even. Yeah, I mean, it's another searcher. You can only get so deep when you're talking about searchers because they're just going to do their thing, and the benefit is always going to be there. If you hit your next card, it's good. Moving on to the next set of cards. The next set of cards were in a YouTube video. I'll link it in the description down below. All the next cards were in that video. It was in Japanese. You can hit subtitles and get their opinions on the cards as well. We will run through them as fast as possible so that we don't keep you here too much longer. But there's some good characters, so stick around. Here we go. Lucky Roux, red character, 4 cost 5k power. Red haired pirates, counter 1k. Blocker, on KO if your leader has red hair pirates, type KO up to one of your opponent's characters with an original power of 6,000 or less. This is a nice on KO effect, and the only thing I don't like is it says original power. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I feel like the Shanks and red hair pirates have lasting minus power effects, so it's not just on your turn, but it is always. And saying original power really takes away from what the deck is doing, in my opinion. I think if it was just KO a 6,000 power or less, that's great. Your minuses that you're paying quite a bit for that do last will be less effective. But that could also put the game in a very dangerous state where red just goes crazy with minus power and just KOing everything that because it doesn't say original power. So I don't like it, but it is a good balance for this deck because of their lasting effects. I know, I believe the Shanks of 10 cost is just a permanent effect. And I think the other ones might also last till the beginning of your next turn type of thing. So it makes sense to balance it out that way. We don't want to go too heavy and make it unfair because it's not like any other color has an unfair advantage. Perona, green character, 1 cost, 2k power. Thriller Bark, and I don't know how to say this. Shikaraku Kingdom. I think that's Draco Mihawk's island. Don't know. 2k counter. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 Thriller Bark type card or a Draco Mihawk, cute, and put it into your hand. Then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Then discard 1 card from your hand. Rough. Love that it includes Mihawk. That's super cute. Pulls in that flavor text that Pudding has to get a Sanji. 2k counter on top of that is quite nice. Discarding a card at the end of all of that feels bad. It was going really great, and I loved it. And then you discard 1 card from your hand, and I hate it. That's too bad. I think it's a pretty good top 5 searcher. Discarding a card from your hand is unfortunate, and I think it puts it in a very hard place to play. Alright, next up. Nami, blue character, 1 cost, 1k power, East blue. When attacking, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 blue event card and put it into your hand. Then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. That card could be crazy. It's limited by its on attack and everything about it. It makes it very killable. Being 1 cost and 1k power, you play this, and I don't think there's going to be any way to give this character rush, so you're going to have to wait a turn to activate that search, and there's no reason why your opponent doesn't stop you from doing that. This being a blue Nami and a blue event searcher, this makes it a very high potential to go into Nami decks, but I feel like it's too slow and it will just get in the way. But being able to pull an event off the top of your deck is fantastic. I would love to see if it actually finds its way into Nami decks. I feel like that list is always evolving, but very tight with what it's trying to do. So I just don't know if it's worth the turn on board. And honestly, it probably is. Getting an extra card off the top of your deck off of this search and being able to, I don't know, the low cost is quite a benefit, I think. I like it, but I'm worried that if it does go into Nami, Nami just keeps on getting better, and it will always be a nuisance because it is a deck that wins in an unconventional way. And if it doesn't go into Nami, Blue likes their events, so it could go into any blue deck, really. They enjoy having those event cards in that archetype. Okay, moving on to Bart. Purple character 4, cost 6k power, Heart Pirates. Hey, they're coming back. On play, if your opponent has more Dawn cards on their field than you, K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. So, already getting reveals that they're going to continue to support this purple Heart Pirates, which is good. We need that. We'll probably also eventually get red Heart Pirates to round out that law archetype. And it's probably not too hard to have less Dawn on your side of the field playing purple, since you minus Dawn so much. So it's pretty interesting. 3 cost or less is interesting, but early on, if you can pull this off, that's quite nice. It fits quite well into that purple-red law deck. Next up, we have another Blackbeard Pirate. Catarina Devon, black character, 5 cost 6k power, Blackbeard Pirates, 1k counter. Activate main once per turn. If your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates type until the end of your opponent's next turn, this character gains either double attack, or banish, or blocker. That's pretty cool. And it's just a lovely effect for this character. Being able to choose a keyword trait is incredible in its own right. And being able to hold on to it so it makes blocker effective. And making 2 of them some of the most powerful attacking ones. Double attack and banish are crazy. Yeah, taking 2 life or making sure life doesn't go to your opponent's hand is really good. I think this character card is great, and I can't imagine it not being played just because of its versatility. One turn it can be blocker, the next turn it can be a double attacker, or you can have multiple. It's just lovely, absolutely incredible card. I can't believe it's not the black SR, because I think it just does exactly what it needs to. Moving on to our last card revealed. Nico Oliva. Yellow character, 1 cost 0 power, Ohara, 2k counter. On play, give up to one of your leaders, Nico Robin, power plus 3000 for the turn. Trigger, if your leader is Nico Robin, draw 3 cards, then discard 2. So if your leader is Nico Robin, she gets plus 3000 power. That's quite nice. That is a huge boost for 1 cost on your attacking phase. And the trigger's not bad either. Draw 3, discard 2. I feel like that's what Shiryuu does, if I remember correctly. Drawing 3 is a massive amount of cards, and finding 2 cards in your hand at that point to get rid of shouldn't be too hard. To pick just the 1 card you want to leave in your hand. That's quite nice. Really nice character card for the Nico Robin leader. I'm not sure what else this leader is getting, so it's a bit of a tough one for me to judge anything to do with those characters right now, because it's purple yellow. We did get purple stuff, but I just don't think that it fits the Nico Robin archetype. And then in the long run, I don't know. I mean, no, not even the Brook this episode had anything to do with Nico Robin, because I think the Robin is straight Straw Hat Crew, not Egghead, so that doesn't fit either. So I'm hoping we're going to see a lot more yellow characters for the Nico Robin leader, because if not, she's left with basically nothing. And we've seen a few in the videos here and there, but there's like 3 or 4 cards so far, and that's concerning for a brand new leader to only have a handful of cards to pull from. Yeah, but that's it for this episode. Let me know what you think about the new ban list. That is a underwhelming and overwhelming thing. I think the part that we missed out on at the top of the video was the timing. We are getting this ban list right before the first Nationals event, and I want to know what you think about that, because I feel like that is poorly planned, but also that makes that first Nationals event in Dallas absolutely insane. Being able to come in with an unsettled meta is going to make that tournament so interesting to watch. I hope they live stream a lot of it. I think the last national event they only did like the last 2 rounds, which is a huge loss when it comes to being able to watch just any deck go in, because you're not going to be able to really practice in a meta with Outlaw beforehand. I think it's like the weekend after, so it's going to be a lot of testing up until this point, just trying to nail down the leader, which is super interesting to happen, and super unfortunate for people that are going to Nats that wanted to play Law and they've been practicing Law for however long they felt like they were going to play it in Nats, and now they can't. That sucks. But it's an ever-evolving game. That's what TCG does. I wish the planning was a little bit better, but it is the way it is, and I hope the players that were playing Law can pivot well and have a good time at Nationals. With that being said, let me know what you thought about the cards in this episode. Are you looking forward to what Blackbeard's going to do, or are you more excited that Nami gets an event searcher? If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you want to get more One Piece TCG content, hit that subscribe. Until next time, peace.